Sarah Hammaker, crosswalk.com contributor. Today I'm going to walk you through my article, How to Help Your Kids Navigate Friendships. If there's anything that is more painful or frustrating for a parent, it's our kids as they stumble and fall and maybe pick friends we don't think they should have and just have trouble with friends. Either they don't have friends, maybe they have too many friends, maybe they're having friends that we don't approve of. Our children's friendships can be kind of tricky, especially as Christian parents, because we want our kids to have healthy friendships. We want them to have friendships that help them to grow in Christ. And sometimes they're friends with people who maybe don't know Jesus, or they're friends with kids who we don't know. So let's talk a little bit about how to help our kids navigate their friendships. Here are 3 ways to handle, we're going to start with 3 ways to handle a child whose friends might not be the best in our book. Maybe we've heard rumors about them, maybe we don't like the way that they act around our kids. There could be a million reasons why. Maybe we hear from our kids that they use foul language. But here's our 3 ways that I've tried to handle my kids having friends who I might not think might be the best choice. Have an open door policy. When I was a kid, my house was the place where everyone gravitated to for playing, because we had a huge yard, we had a big attic, that like it was a big room upstairs that we could go and play in when it was cold or rainy outside. I don't know why my house was kind of the default place. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that my mom didn't mind upwards of a dozen kids tramping upstairs to put on plays on rainy days or jumping out of a tree on a swing in our backyard. As a mom of 4 kids who frequently kicked them outside to play all year round, our house became the one the neighborhood kids came to play at. Kids always knocked on our door asking if one of my children can play, and I welcomed the disruption, even though I do work from home. This allowed me to know the kids that my children were playing with, and it was that I didn't mind the chaos of additional children in our house or in our yard. With 4 kids of my own, a few more didn't really matter. But by allowing kids and eventually teenagers to feel welcome in your home, we're able to learn about them. We're able to see how they interact with our kids. This provides a wonderful glimpse of the friendships that we won't get if we don't have an open door policy. And talk to the friends. This should begin in elementary school when you ask your children's friends simple questions like where they went on vacation, what books they like to read, things like that. Engage them in conversation that doesn't revolve around what they did in school. We want to get to know these kids on a personal basis. So think about asking them, just general questions. This was brought home to me a few years ago when my oldest, who's now in college, she was a high school senior at the time, who said to me that her friend loved coming to our house because I didn't grill her about where she was going to college. I talked to her like a real person and asked her wants and her dreams and things like that. And that stuck with me. While we shouldn't try to be their friend, we can still be an interested adult in their life, and we can treat them like someone we're genuinely interested in. Invite your children's friends to dinner. This is a national extension of the open door policy. But giving your kids leave to say, hey, can such and such come to dinner, even at the last minute, is a wonderful way to get to know these kids. Here's one example. My parents fostered when I was a teenager, and one of their first placements was for a teen girl a couple years older than I am. Joan was dating someone called Will, these are not their real names, who my parents felt they didn't think Will was a good influence for Joan. Rather than forbid Joan from seeing him, which wouldn't have gone over well, they encouraged him to invite her over for dinner. He came and everyone had a nice meal, but shortly after that, Will and Joan broke up. I'm sure there was other reasons for the breakup, but I'm sure it happened sooner because my parents welcomed Will into their home rather than barring him. Our children and teens will make wise friend choices and questionable friend choices. The more we can express genuine interest in them and their friends and allow for playing, parties, and meals to happen at our house with our supervision, of course, the more information we'll gather about these kids, and the more we'll be able to help our children navigate the friendship or to discuss any troubling behavior. And the more we can be that safe adult that maybe that friend needs. Now, when a friend moves on, losing a friend can hurt. I think we've all probably can look back and think of when a friend moved on, either they physically moved away or you changed schools or fill in the blank. And it can be hard when a friend leaves or when your child realizes this friend is not their friend anymore. Here are 5 ways to help your child recover from a lost friendship. Remind them of the seasonality of life. The older your child, the more they'll be able to grasp this, but remember that sometimes friendships that were in elementary school fizzle in junior high. Sometimes because you maybe don't have classes with this friend, maybe because your interests start to go in different directions. Learn to let go. This is a hard one for me. I tend to be the person who reaches out to keep in touch with friends. But there does come a time when I realize, I need to stop because the other person is not responding or hasn't responded. And helping our kids to know it's okay to move beyond the friendship. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to have those good memories of when you were a friend and to realize that that was the past. That's okay. Do some self-examination. Maybe there's something we did to drive this friend away. Some kids will dwell too much on what was wrong with them. But this introspection can be done healthily. Remember that friendships are fluid and help our kids remember that. But maybe you notice, because you have the open door policy, that your child was doing things or making it all about them all the time. Maybe that's why they're friends. So help them to see where they can maybe be a better friend. Help them to remember the good. They had fun with this friend. It hurts that they don't have that anymore, but help them remember that that's a good memory to have. And give them guidance on how to end a friendship. Sometimes it becomes obvious it's time to stop being friends. That can happen for various reasons and not always bad reasons. Rather than ghost them, rather than not respond to this friend, help our children to say, yeah, I really appreciated our friendship, but we're moving in different directions. So I think it's time that we didn't do things anymore. Help them with the language and the courage to follow through, and that's important. Friendships of all ages can be fraught with danger and filled with joy, sometimes all at the same time. I hope that this was helpful for you to help your children navigate their friendship.